Hello, fourth grade. I am going to talk to you a little bit about how to best use Thinkcentral. So first thing I need to do is go in to my account, classcanik12.org. There we go. And once I'm sure that I'm in my correct Gmail account, the easiest way for me to get to Google Classroom is to click on this little grid here and click Classroom. Here I see a handful of other classrooms, but you should only see this one over here that says Miss Kyle's Distance Learning. Then you're going to go ahead into Classwork, and then this Useful Links tab. This is a great opportunity for you to be able to access some websites that we use. So right now, since I'm going to go to do some math, I'm going to my GoMath Thinkcentral login page. And notice here that it has information about your login. It's a lot like what your email looks like, just without the @classcanik12.org. So this is what you used to just be typing into our Chromebooks in class. So here you are going to go ahead and click Thinkcentral. It's going to bring you to this screen. Hopefully you've already entered this information and you can just check mark that box that says remember my school. So every time you come into here, you won't have to select your country and the state and the district and all that stuff. So now, because I don't have an account quite the same way, I am going to go into my test account, which is just student. I'm going to go ahead and log in. And here we have the things to do. I'm going to click that, and oh, check that out. I have a few things that I need to work on. So for this lesson, I'm going to go ahead into lesson 8.4. Usually you'll have to click it twice because there's some instructions attached to each one. This one's instructions just say, have fun learning. So once I've clicked that, it's going to take some time to go through kind of an introduction video. And so I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead a little bit. So that introduction gives you an opportunity to kind of learn a little bit about what our focus is for the lesson. And then you get to this page. So here is our personal math trainer. Notice that if I click next, it completely skips over it. So instead of clicking next, I'm going to click, notice it highlights personal math trainer. For this first section of our personal math trainer, the orange one, there's usually only a couple questions. And then if you are finding, wow, I'm really lost on what to do here, you can view an example, which shows you exactly what they're asking and some answers. But personally, I like to go into this step-by-step mode. So what step-by-step allows us to do is say, okay, here's one little chunk. Use mental math to find the amount of water in each of the 8 batches if all 4 cups of water are used. So I know that we would have a 2 here. Oh, great. And then it shows the next step. Now, the only thing with step by step is it will not count it as having completed the problem. In order to actually have it say, yes, you did number 1, you're going to have to click this button at the bottom that says try another. Now, try another brings up a lot of the same exact skills, but usually with some different information. So once you've been able to complete your answer, you can say, all right, check my answer. And it will say whether or not you have completed it correctly or if not. So once you have said check answer and it says yes, everything is good to go, that's when you want to go ahead and continue on to the next question. So now, once we've completed number 2, then in order to turn it in, so this section of Personal Math Trainer is just 2 questions. So you'd say turn it in, and it will come up with a little thought bubble of, oh, you haven't answered all the questions, and that comes up if you have not gotten a correct answer. And then you will say, yes, once you've gotten them all, I'm finished. That one's good to go, and then I go on to the next one. So this one is kind of like, here's your homework and your classwork all in one. So it's asking you to do all the same style of questions, but here's a really key thing to know. So once you have the answer, and I do recommend you use your workbook to kind of solve some of this, or a blank sheet of paper, because there is going to be some work involved. I know a handful of you might think, oh yeah, I can do that in my head, and maybe you can, but I highly recommend you have some sort of piece of paper in front of you. But let's just say I happen to have the answer with me now. Then I would say, okay, and this is not the correct answer, so don't copy this over. I could say it's 10, but it's also 1/3. So if I just type in 1/3, that's not going to give me the correct answer. What I have to do for typing in fractions is go over to this here. So this kind of call out box comes up every time you're putting in an answer. And there's this little box here that when I hover over it, it says fraction, and I would click that. Now I have this opportunity to be able to put a numerator and a denominator. So I could put 1/3. And when I click away from it, it says 10 and 1/3, and I can check my answer. And of course, like I said, it's not the correct one, so that's okay. So then I could try it again. I could do step by step, I could view example, etc. There are some other tabs on here that might be helpful to you. There's this one, textbook, which brings up exactly where we learned it in the textbook or in your GoMath workbook. So if you didn't have that in front of you for some reason, you could easily just click this and it would bring you to that part of our learning. Or we have this glossary tab, and a glossary is like a dictionary for really specific words. So I could say, I'm not really sure what a fraction is. So I could go to F, and I could scroll down to my F's and see, ooh, there's my word fraction. And I could even have it read it to me. And the thing that sorry about that. The thing that I like most about this glossary is it also typically includes a picture for each thing. So like a fact family, here's an example. So that's our glossary. There's also this button here, toolkit. I don't envision you using these too much, but there's this kit part here that says fraction strips. And this would allow you to say, okay, if I'm trying to add 1/2 and another 1/2, then that would be the same as 1/2. Oh, cool, very cool. So this doesn't contribute to your answer at all. It's just a way for you to explore and try some of those things. So then I could say delete or just cancel out. There's also a print button here. What that does is opens up a copy for you to print out. Maybe if you wanted to print out the example and be able to refer to it in front of you, but chances are you won't be using that as much. So then you're just making sure to turn in your work, and then over here in status it will say completed, and then I will be able to look in at how you did, and if you were really having a hard time, then I can check in with you. So that's mostly what we'll be doing with Thinkcentral. Again, if you have any questions, I am always here. Miss Baldwin is always here. And we would love to help support you. So let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.